Hey, Bruce Naylor here, your Boomer Consumer. And today we're here to talk about upgrading your home Wi-Fi system. Now, little background here is that I have a 500 megabit connection through MediaCom. And we also have the Apple time capsule router, which I've had I don't know how many years now. Apple quit making these quite some time ago. And the updates to the firmware happen very, very infrequently anymore. Been running into a lot of different problems with this, especially in our back bedroom. On the back side of the house, we're getting dropouts, very low speeds. I'll show you that in just a minute. Very unstable. The router needs rebooted constantly anymore. It's dying, it's failing. It's time to move on. So I've been doing a lot of research, and I was looking for a mesh system, and I happened across the EERO mesh Wi-Fi system. Billed as one of the, if not the easiest mesh system to install in your home. The claim is it can set up within 10 minutes. Now, as a disclaimer, I paid for this with my own funds. No one has reviewed this video prior to posting. I do have my Amazon affiliate link down below if you're interested in one of these. So here it is, the box, and this is the EERO Mesh Wi-Fi system. A little bit about mesh. Designed to be a whole home Wi-Fi. This system here with 3 different nodes, if you'll call it that, is designed to cover up to a 5,000 square foot. Now my home isn't anywhere near that size. I live in a condominium, but nonetheless, why not? Why not have whole home Wi-Fi? And I was looking for Wi-Fi that was fast, rock steady, and easy to set up. And I gotta tell you, I'm very, very impressed with this product. So what is a mesh network? Well, in the EERO's case, for example, you get 3 different, I'm gonna call them nodes, they're essentially routers. Each have their own radios, and they communicate with one another. So when you're trying to use your laptop, your tablet, your smartphone, those will tell that device, or they'll tell each other which one of those routers, if you will, or nodes as I like to call them, which one to use that'll give it the best signal and the fastest Wi-Fi. And it makes setting up easier than doing the traditional wireless router and then putting extenders out there, etc. And this was probably the most brain dead simple system I've ever set up. So that's kind of what mesh is. I'm not gonna get overly technical with you, but it's a smart way of expanding your internet throughout an entire home as painlessly as possible. So why the EERO system? Because I read so much background information, and I was looking for something very, very simple to use. I am to the point in my life where I no longer am that overly concerned about getting in the nuts and bolts of the Wi-Fi system on a very granular level. Rather, I wanted something easy to set up and easy to configure and maintain. And everything pointed towards this system. Now, there is a Pro model that costs a lot more, but for my purposes, these sell for $249. This does absolutely everything that I need it to do. Now, these come really, really nicely packaged. And when you open up the box, you're going to see the 3 units right off the bat. Each one is identical to the other. Doesn't matter which one of the 3 you use to connect to your modem. You can use any of them. They all come with 2 Ethernet ports as well as an AC adapter. Now, removing them from the box, you're going to see a getting started guide. No heavy duty manual to read there. It's basically installing an app and using your phone to configure the system. Then on the bottom of the box, you'll find the 3 AC adapters that you'll use with each EERO unit. Also included in the box is a short Ethernet cable to connect one of the units into your modem. So I ran a speed test on the master bedroom, and I found out I was only getting about 8 megabits down and 11 up. And it kept bombing out all the time, and that's not any good. We stream movies, etc. on Netflix, and the TV would freeze up, lose signal altogether. It was just a horrible experience. What amazed me is my upstream was faster than my downstream. Just very unreliable. Now, using my laptop in my office, I was getting 234 down and about 36 up. So that's acceptable, but I'm on a 500 megabit connection. Well, so let me give you a demo of just how easy it is to set this unit up. So you want to grab your phone, your iPhone, your Android device, and you want to install the EERO app. Once you get that configured, you're going to create an account and you're going to put in your email address, your phone number, and then you're going to get a verification code back from EERO. Next, disconnect your old network. In my case, my phone was still on an existing network, so get off of that, forget it. Then you're going to unplug your modem and your old router. Next, plug in the EERO into your modem, power both of them on. Next, the app will find the EERO device and ask you if you want to configure it as a gateway in the internet or are you adding it as another unit. Next, it's time to create your network. You'll give it an SSID name, a name for your network. In my case, I use the existing main network name that I've been using, the 2.4 gigahertz, because the 5 just never really worked reliably here in the house. Now, after you do that, it will create the network and you are in business. And because I use the same network name as I did before, almost immediately all my devices on the network will recognize and work without me having to do anything. I love that. Brain dead simple. It just worked. Okay, after it's set up, I ran some speed tests again. This time, let's go back to the bedroom, and here's what I got. 69 megabits down, 38 up. Same laptop, same office. This time, I'm getting 443 down and 36 up. Wow, that's a huge difference. Now, is that impressive in the back bedroom with a 500 megabit connection? No, but it is a massive improvement. Massive. Now we can stream HDR 4K movies on Netflix, no problem, no interruptions. Everything works the way I want. I can take my iPad clear out into the backyard and I still have coverage on here, strong coverage. Wow. It's really night and day. I couldn't be more pleased. And of course, in the office, I practically doubled my download speed on there. It's quite amazing, actually. Now, finally, I thought I'd just give you a quick walkthrough of the EERO software, the EERO app running on my iPad. I actually downloaded it on my iPad because I'm on it all the time, especially in the evening, and it's a great way to check the system. You really do want to use the phone app to set everything up. You could on the iPad, but you got to have cellular data, blah, blah, blah. Most people don't have that, so use your phone. So I installed the EERO app on my iPad because I'm using it a lot at night back in the bedroom reading the news or a book, online book, etc. So I wanted just to have a nice way to keep tabs of what's going on with the network. Remember, you really need to set this up with your phone, but you can actually do it on the iPad under certain circumstances. I'm not really going to go into that. This is the home screen of the app. It tells me that the network's online. Shows me on the internet, my 3 different nodes, I guess. I don't know if they're going to call them a router, but I have 3 different nodes, one in the office, bedroom, living room. Then I can see at a glance all the connected devices, and it breaks it down by category. Computers and personal, so all the computers, the printer, the iPads, my NAS, laptop. Entertainment devices, that'd be my Roku player, the Xbox, and other, which I guess it can't really figure out exactly what kind of devices they are, but I have a lot of smart plugs in the house, etc. So that's really what a lot of those are, smart bulbs. And so I have those. Now you can go into any particular device, and we'll tap that, and you can actually assign a profile to it, and they give you the connection details. In the case of the Alienware, it's actually on a wired connection, usually the MAC address, etc. You have all that. My Mac Mini, click on that. And this tells us that it's actually on, it's on the 5 gigahertz band. It's connected to the office. And you can actually block stuff from the network if you want. You can also come in here, tap that, and rename that as a, just as a short name if you want. And so on. So you have all that on the home screen. Briefly, you're online, everything's good, we're good. Let's go into activity. You can perform speed tests if you wish. The last speed test showed the fastest download at 576 megabits per second, 39 up. It's done security scans. Now, let's talk about this briefly. They have what's called EERO Security. It's an option. They give you free 30-day trial. And essentially, you can scan for threats at the network level, do ad blocking on websites, and content filtering. I think it's like $3 a month if you want to do that. And you can pay for it on an annual basis. So we can see more activity. There it tells us about the ad blocks, content filters, and you can set those up there if you wish. So you have that. And of course, you can go into your history this week, last week. Now let's go into discovery. There's some new things there's EERO Labs. You have brand steering, local DNS caching. You can optimize for conferencing and gaming. So you have those capabilities. The real meat and potatoes, you need to go into settings. And here, if you click on advanced, where you change your time zone and your internet connection, your ISP, there you go. DHCP and NAT. Just leave it to automatic, folks. Just leave it to automatic, but you can bridge it. You can put in a static IP address if you want. These are probably options the average consumer will never fool around with because everything's pretty much automatic setting all this up. You do have the reservations on here for IP address and port forwarding. Again, this is something most consumers will probably never really mess with, but I have a printer, a wireless printer, and a NAS, and I want them to get the same IP address every time they connect to the network. So I added, reserved those IP addresses. Rather than putting in a static IP in the device, you do a reservation instead. You can also use firewall rules if you wish. You don't really have the more advanced nitty-gritty stuff on here, like QoS, quality of service for different services. But you can do some port forwarding. I mean, this is designed, all in all, to be very simple to use. Most people are just going to go in here. If you want to go in and add a device, very easy to do. You can add a new EERO device, invite a guest, or create a profile. Very, very simple to use software. Not a whole lot more really to talk about on that. That's it. That's just basically it. Okay, so there are some downsides to this. What are they? Well, number one, it does not support the new Wi-Fi 6 standard. So if you got a gigabit connection or something like that, this is not going to be the system for you. Understand that going into it, okay? The next is that you have to use a phone to install the system, to configure it. And for a lot of people, it might be vision impaired, what have you. That's very small, little tiny keyboard, small screen, might be hard for them to see and use. You might have to give somebody a hand with that. And finally, this really is not really a con. But if you are super technical and you want absolute total control of the entire nuts and bolts of your wireless network, this is not for you. It's not. But if you're the average type of consumer, if you're the boomer consumer generation, or you just want something simple set up, you want to upgrade your Wi-Fi, you know what kind of cheapo stuff your ISP gives you for Wi-Fi, right? You want something easy to set up. This is the way to go, and is really affordable compared to a lot of other solutions out there. Okay, so what are the pros? Well, first off, I think $249 to cover up to 5,000 square feet of home, that's a doggone good price. It's easy to set up and use. I can't go over that enough. Not one tech support call, nothing like that. No referring to any manuals, no going to Google, Googling a problem. It just worked. And I think the nodes, the little routers, I think is very tasteful looking for your home. I'm certainly not some big monstrosity with tons of antennas sticking out of it. No, it's very small, very compact, very elegant looking hardware. In the start of the show, rock steady Wi-Fi. Couldn't be more pleased with this unit. So in the final analysis, I think it's a super value for the money. It was super easy to set up. I couldn't be more pleased with the way it performs. And I would recommend these little units right here to just about anybody that's looking to upgrade their Wi-Fi, who doesn't want to get in and tinker with all the nuts and bolts. Yes, there's more higher performance mesh systems out there, more complex systems. but for the average person, this is going to be really tough to beat. No Googling, no technical support calls, about 15 minutes altogether, and I was up and running. It took me a little longer, and that part was a mistake that I made, but yeah, you couldn't be more simple. That's it. Bruce Naylor, your Boomer Consumer. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.